This is the video telling you how to put together this 6-bird lamp from Amazon. Huge disclaimer, none of us are electricians. Even if my dad does seem like he knows what he's talking about, and he does have lots of experience with this, and we've never had a fire, he's still not a trained professional, so follow his advice at your own risk. But I do advise that if you're not very experienced with any of this, that you do seek help from someone who knows what they're talking about. Ideally, a trained electrician, but if you're like us and you like doing things yourself and figuring it out by yourself, then this video is for you. For step 1, we have 6 of these fixtures, and when they come out of the box, it comes with this. We found out that like you can't attach those two, you can't just stick them together, so we take them off entirely. Here, can you help me demonstrate?
Yeah, so this came, these are a little bit hard to get off, so we did have to use pliers to kind of get it started, and then they will thread out. And then we're really just using the one that comes out of here.
Yeah,
like
you thread the two, the blue and the red, you thread it down there. You're missing, yeah. So like this goes through, ends up in a big tangle here. You twist it
as far as it can go, and then I'm going to tighten the nuts on the inner rim, or sorry, the inner side of the outer rim.
Yeah.
Like that.
I was hoping to demonstrate, like when you twist it all the way, sometimes it comes out like upside down and you have to fiddle with the nut.
Sometimes it might get tight. It might become tight when this is upside down, and then you would have to loosen this nut a little bit and kind of adjust this nut over here, maybe a little smidge. But since mine kind of ended up about
that one
right
came
now,
out just fine. After step 1, it should look like this, of like the middle circle and all of the 6 different things. It already came. Step 2 is attaching this to this, but it already came attached. So we can't really help you with that. Apparently step 3 is also already done for us. That's attaching the chains to the round center. You're gonna need an A base wide, but you can't get the classic light bulb because these are too big to fit inside of the bird. Yeah, probably something like this, but with an A base. Okay, let it be known, these do not fit inside of the birds. You need something even smaller. Okay, these are the ones you're going to want to get. Got medium base size. I like the wick. Narrow bulb. According to my dad, who's more knowledgeable about this than I am, we're not going to immediately go right to putting in the light bulbs and then the birds. We're going to do that after it's already up there, because he hasn't given me a clear answer, but he says to trust him, so we're going to do that. The next thing you're going to want to do is turn off the electrical in your house.
Okay, so in your box, there's going to be a hot that's black, and there's going to be a white that's neutral. And there are a couple of different ways that can be done, where you can switch it from here back to there, or the hot can come through the switch up to here. So one thing you want to make sure is that the electricity is turned off here. So we just had it turned on, and we turned it off at the breaker. I don't necessarily recommend turning it off, like just turning the light switch off and then feeling like you're okay. Don't do that. Okay, so then there's gonna be a wire nut like that I unscrewed from the wire that was in this existing light fixture. There's another one that I'm gonna find. One's gonna be hot, one's gonna be neutral.
I kind of see it up there.
So I just have to kind of fish it out of here a little bit. And then I'm going to unscrew this whole nipple to get this out of here, but I don't really want to screw it around too much while that wire is still up in there because it will get kind of all jumbled up. So you can see here how there's electrical tape that's wrapped around the end of the wire nut, and I like to do that just to kind of make sure that that wire nut stays on there really well. And if it becomes loose, then that, that wire is not just exposed. So I took the electrical tape off, unscrewed that wire nut, and now I can get this wire off of here, and now I should be able to pull it down out of here a little bit better. Maybe not. I might still just have to kind of spin it to get it out of here. Oh, and this is what I was talking about, where here's the hot, the black one, and then that's the neutral. And then you'll also have a ground wire that you connect with the green right here. So we'll have to get that done as well. This will probably just have the ground wire screws are usually just a slot screwdriver.
I have a screwdriver.
Okay, so we should get one.
This is the screwdriver he meant, where it's like not the 4, it's just the flat.
It's not a Phillips, it's a slot.
Yeah. Okay.
So I managed to get it a little bit farther along. So you can see this is a nipple here that was screwed into this bracket. And now the hot and the neutral wire, which are pretty much reversible on a light fixture, are freed, but now it's there's the bare ground wire that's still connected to this ground screw. And so now I just have to I just loosened it just a bit, and now I have to try and free this. I got there's a ground wire that also comes with the wiring in the house. That's this one, and that one will remain. But right now I'm just trying to get the ground wire that came with the light fixture off of here. And basically the ground wire does the same thing as the neutral. It's just kind of a backup, so that if the neutral line ever gets compromised, it doesn't overheat, and the hot doesn't have nowhere to go. So if something goes wrong with the neutral line, then it can, all that energy, all that current, I should say, can just go back on the ground wire. So super, super important. Don't just think like it's not necessary, like it can save your life. We're almost there. So they did a really good job of securing this on here. There we go. Whew. Okay.
Whee!
Okay. Okay, so in the instructions, they said to put in the light fixtures, and they maybe even said to put the Parrots on there. But my recommendation is to get the wiring all done when the light fixture is still really light and not breakable. Because when you're holding this thing up here and you're trying to do the wiring, it's a big pain in the neck. So I like it to just be really light. Your arms are up here for kind of a bit, and so you want everything just to be really easy. And then you can come in later and put in all the bulbs, that sort of thing. So we're doing that a little bit out of order, but I just didn't want extra weight up here, and I didn't want it to be fragile when I'm monkeying around up here.
Chain will be going up. This is what hangs it to the ceiling. Okay, go.
Okay, so I'm figuring like the hot and the neutral wires of this socket need to feed into the bottom of this. And this had a nipple on it and a nut and a washer. These were on the top of here. But I took them off because there's already a nipple coming down here.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same thing before with these things, where it was just like there were more nipples than we needed, so we have all these extra ones, right? There's all these things laying all over the place. I think that this is what makes sense. And of course, the directions are not fantastic, so we're just kind of guessing. So now I'm going to screw this onto here like this. Yeah, and then these will receive 2 lamps.
Okay, and then on top.
And the bowl will come on underneath it, and that long nipple there.
Yeah.
And that's going to mount the bowl is going to come and fit into this one.
Yeah, but we're going to do
Right
that after
here.
it's up there.
Yeah. All right, I don't know where my utility knife is, but fortunately we have this little X-Acto, and I'm just going to cut this sheath open here. I'm trying to just make sure I don't cut open the insulation on the wires themselves. I'm trying to be kind of careful. I'm not going too deep. So then when I pull this thing open, here are these wires in here, right? So there's right, a blue and a kind of brown color in there.
Isn't that the red?
Well, you know, they might be calling it red, but it's
well, let's just keep calling it red.
It's just not absolutely not red.
I know, but just for this,
it's fine.
just,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm gonna do it on the other side too. This way we can just, you know, access those wires. Otherwise, we can't really get to them. Oh, another thing too, I should have mentioned, is we need to get this insulation off of the wires just a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of like cut that off of there like that. And I actually, I have some wire strippers somewhere, which works so much better. But I'm trying to kind of show things with just really basic things that everybody would have. So, right, just kind of like that. So then you're left with some bare wires.
Yeah, just like the ones we connected through here.
Yeah. So, and this thing that I'm working with is sharp enough to cut these fine little wires that are on there. So I'm not like really being aggressive. And of course, don't cut yourself. Just always cut away from yourself. And I'm just kind of guiding with my thumb a little bit. Okay, I think we're there. Now I'm just going to get in behind it like that, cutting away to cut off that insulation. So now we're ready.
And do the other, same thing to the other
same
side.
thing other side. One thing I didn't mention with this is that, after you do your work, you really want to examine both these wires and make sure that you didn't cut them at all and nick through the
What do you do if you
insulation.
accidentally did nick them?
Well, hopefully you still have enough length to do everything you need to do, but that would not be safe. So you could potentially have to go buy yourself some new wire.
So you would want to just at least try to trim it past the point where you nicked it and just hope you have enough length?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just generally, just really try not to do that in the first place, I guess.
Don't be in a rush. Go nice and slowly. And you can see like a couple of these little wires are left behind. So I gotta kind of fish them out of that insulation before I cut it, because you want to make sure that you get all of them. There's only so much current that is allowed to flow between, along these wires before it overheats. So if you have fewer of these little wires, and that's less metal to carry this current, and then that would just get it hotter, so that's not a good thing. Yeah, this wire here has to run all the way down through this whole thing, and then it's going to go up and connect up with the ceiling. But this part is going to go down there, and then like I was just showing how we're going to connect it down to these here, but it's got to come down through this whole hole to the center line of this thing first. So if maybe I'll try and kind of twist them a little bit so that they don't fray and get caught on things on the way down. And if I'd been smart, you should feed this down through before you cut it apart and take the insulation off. Those are working good on my part. Okay, I think we did it. Okay, so now it's come up the other side. And we can grab it and connect the different parts like we need to. So the brown is going to go to brown. Okay, on the instructions they're saying black/red. Well, there's not red, there's like this brown. So we're just going to call that our hot or our black. So we're putting all of our browns together with our black, like so. And I think that is everything.
Where did the black come from?
There's a black that came up from below that's going down the socket that's lighting the bowl.
Okay.
Okay, and then where's that nut?
Here.
This nut is kind of large, honestly. I wish I had a smaller one, but I can't find them. But I think it's going to work okay. It's like jam them all in there and twist it enough. And then I'll run a bunch of electrical tape around it. It's really important that these, when you're kind of shoving this all back down in there, that they don't, none of them fall out and you have a bare wire that can hit another bare wire.
How can you know when
And-
you're blind in there?
Right, so things just have to be super secure.
Cautionary tale. Make sure you're not doing
Oh
this.
my god!
Make sure none of them are wrapped around these.
So, although the white is connected to all the blues, the black is connected to all the browns, and the tricky thing is here that this combined wire here comes down through the nipple and out the side down here, and then the black and white wires, the hot and neutral that come up from this socket down here, also come up and come out the side of the nipple. That way, the only thing coming up through the top of the center of the nipple is just this one pair of wires that also runs up into here. So now, as we drop this thing down, this nipple, this threaded nipple, is going to go down into this hole. And as we sort of drop it down, as we drop it down, I'm going to slowly pull up on this to shorten the length of it, like so. And at some point, we're going to have to try and make sure the correct amount of wire is in there. And then we just start spinning it onto that nipple, like this. And hopefully we got it right. So now we can attach these chains out to this rim, this kind of crown rim, into the 3 holes. So you take off the washer and the nut, feed the nipple through the hole from the outside toward the inside, put the washer on, put the nut on, and tighten it down. Like so.
now it should look like this. The wire is still coming out the top. Chains on the top. These are attached. This is closed.
Screw it onto there.
Yeah, the top of this goes onto there.
Yeah. So I have a bracket up there in the ceiling, so we'll take that one off and replace it with this one. This one's different. That one up there, it just goes straight across, whereas this one goes in and has this whole nipple thing. So I gotta get that one off and replace it with this one. So what I'll do is actually take this off of here and pull this out of here. Yeah, and then I gotta take they have these little cute little nice nuts on the ends of this that I need to get off. Yep. So I can disconnect this from this, mount this to the ceiling, and then mount this back to this thing.
Okay.
I think. Okay, so now we're getting ready to wire in the fixture. I have the mounting bracket all ready to roll. There are these bolts sticking down, and they are going to fit through these holes in this plate. And then I have the there's this nipple at the top of this chain, and that is going to go through the plate as well. And then I also have this nut on here.
The nut is very important.
Yeah. So that's going to fit in there. And actually, no, the nut, sorry, yeah, the nut actually has to go in on the other side of...
Yeah, fit it through and then put the nut on immediately after the hole.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we got it. So we got the bolts coming down through these holes. I got the first nuts on there and then the finished nuts on there as well. I think that I've got the nipple secured up there with a nut on the other side of the bracket, and it appears to have some strength to it. One thing I don't understand is why there isn't more tension on these supports right here, but who knows. So now we're gonna load it up with the birds in the bowl and see how we do.
So like break down what you did. Like you put it through the bowl first, then through the hole, put on a nut, put the caps on.
This little the thing on the end of the chain, which is like a loop connected to a nipple, went through this plate. The wire went through the plate. They all went up through the mounting bracket, and then I put the nut through the wire, and the nut over the wire, and then the nipple went up through the mounting plate, and the nut came down over the top of it and cinched it against the mounting plate, so that the weight of the whole thing is really being held on that nut, gripping the nipple on the other side of the mounting plate.
Okay, and then what was the problem that you had with like securing it?
It was kind of hard getting the nipple up through there and being able to reach up, with your fingers or needle nose pliers to hold the nut steady while you're screwing the nipple up into there. That was tricky. Getting these bolts to fit down through the holes and getting those nuts on it was also tricky. I think I did it. I don't recommend this product.
Okay.
Oh, and the lights look amazing, so here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as the wiring was done, we used the light to sort of help. I mean, he did. He used the light to sort of help with the securing.
Okay, give me some birds.
Now we're just going to install the birds. Fit them on. Traditionally, they would all face inwards towards the center, but you can just place them anywhere you want.
And I kind of don't want to just see all their backs. I thought it would be nice to kind of have them turned sideways, so you're seeing them from the side more.
Yeah, you put them in, you tighten the screws so they're secure.
We did get it in. It was a little bit lopsided. These support chains don't really do anything, so we're not quite sure why they're. The birds, when we first did it, I didn't like how they were situated because I saw like the backs of 4 of them from the room that's the main view for here. So I've just been kind of tweaking around a little bit, but I think that's about it.
For the last part, the little danglies, you can just pull this apart like that. Put it. Can you film? Right there. Then clasp it back together just the best you can. Like that. Sincerely hope this was educational and helpful. And if you have any questions about the project, feel free to leave a comment and I can ask my dad for him to tell me what to tell you, because honestly he's the mastermind. So